So in this little workflow quickie, I'm going to show you how to make an on-off toggle for all the dynamically simulated objects in your scene for animating. So what I have here is a simple rig. It's just a NURB cylinder connected to a NURBS circle control. On that control, there's a dynamic on-off attribute. If I turn that attribute on, and I do a solver's interactive playback, you can see it simulating as if it was a dynamic tail or antenna or whatever else. So if I just undo that, and first thing I want to do is I'm just going to go to my reference editor, because this is a referenced rig, and I'm just going to duplicate that reference a few times. And then I'll press G to duplicate the same action. So now I have 3 rigs in the scene, and I'll just spread them out a little bit. And what I want to do is make a toggle for all these guys, because they now all have separate on-off dynamic controls. So what I'll do is I'll make an empty display layer, and I'm going to name that display layer something like dynamic on-off toggle, and I'll save that. And now if I right click on that layer and go to the attributes for it, I can press select in the attribute editor, and that will actually select the visibility layers node, the actual visibility layer node. And what I can do then is open up the connection editor under general editors, connection editor, and now that display layers properties will be loaded on the left hand side of the connection editor. And if we open up this draw info drop down, you can see we have visibility down here. So now if I select the 3 controls for these rigs and reload the right side, I can now connect the visibility of the display layer to that dynamic on-off attribute for each of these rigs. So now that we did that, I can close this out. I can close out the attribute editor, and now I have a toggle on-off for the dynamics. And you see when I check it on, you can see the dynamic attribute toggling on and off. So now if I have it off, I can start doing a little bit of animation on here. Let's say at frame 1 I can set a key, and then just start to reposition and rotate this stuff. So every 10 frames or so, just to make it simple. And we'll just do a few simple poses. And then let's say at 40, we'll bring it back and we'll reset the rotation. And if I play it back for you, it's what you expect. Just a static rig playing back the animation we just put on it. But now, if I click on our empty display layer, which is connected to the dynamics of our rigs, and play back, you'll see that the rigs will simulate. So this is just a really easy way to create a toggle for your dynamically simulated objects. No fancy mel scripting involved, and works really flawlessly. It's sitting here unintrusive in the interface. Really great to have. Really comes in handy if you're animating a scene and you don't want to be bogged down by the simulations trying to catch up as you're moving through the timeline. Hopefully you can use this technique for some other things, and if you do, let me know. Thanks very much. Hope it helps.